Hello everyone and welcome to Past the Post. My name is Michael Adolphs and we're going to go over the very best of racing from around the world. And indeed we had lots of Group 1 action to go over and a historic quadruple win for Godolphin as well. But we're getting ahead ourselves. First we're going to go to Newmarket for the first of those. The 2000 Guineas, the first classic of the season in the UK, took place. It was a thriller indeed as Ruling Court, winner of the Jumeirah Guineas at Meydan, proved himself to be a proper Group 1 horse for Charlie Appleby and William Buick. The favourite in the race, finishing a game second on the outside, the flashy grey there, was Field of Gold for John and Thady Gosden, once again denying John Gosden a Guineas victory. Finishing up third and running quite well was multiple Group 1 winners Shadow of Light, also for the winning connections of Charlie Appleby. Mikel Barcelona was on that one. And Godolphin also finished fourth here with Syed bin Saror trained Tornado Alert.
The first time William Buick just beginning to try and move Ruling Court forward, being shadowed by Field of Gold, who still travels strongly, then Shadow of Light. Up front, push coming to shove now. Scored the champ Seagulls 11, Ruling Court makes ground, still Kieran Schubart sits quietly on Field of Gold as they begin to commit, running down into the dip. Left-hand side, Shadow of Light has moved through the lead and has gone a length clear. Ruling Court in second, Tornado Alert in third. Field of Gold now lost for the effort, begins to meet the rising ground. Shadow of Light and Ruling Court fighting it out for Godolphin. Field of Gold back in third place is closing, but it's too late, and it's Ruling Court who will lead them home in the Guineas from the fast finishing Field of Gold with Shadow of Light in third.
Yeah, we got there in the end. It took us a few years to get the hang of it, but anyway, no, thankfully, look, as I say, I could spend all day here thanking people individually, but I can't thank everyone enough, and everyone knows who they are, who counts, and most importantly is to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed and Team Godolphin in continuous support to myself and all the team, and these are the days that it's the only way you can repay a man like that for putting his support and faith into me. So we came in here with a lot of confidence that we had the right horses. As we said, it was a hard choice for William, but he saw it right, and in respects he felt this horse was going to see that mile out, and that's what he did. He outstayed them, I felt. I mean, everyone had their chance in the dip to come and have a crack at it. Obviously, William got got a nice clear run at it, and I was delighted with Shadow of Light at one stage. I thought it's good. It could be a good match race going on here. John's horse, obviously, as expected, was always going to come to the party there late on, and he put it up to William and Ruling Court. But yeah, great ride. Very nice horse, and people are going to ask, he's the only horse that we've entered in the Derby, but most importantly I think we'll enjoy today and let the dust settle and sort of try and formulate a plan of if we stick to that Derby route, which I'd be confident we will do, hopefully, but again, those are decisions that will be made collectively.
The second of that quartet of Group 1 classic wins for Godolphin on the weekend we'll follow up with. This one is Desert Flower winning the 1,000 Guineas. This talented daughter of Knight of Thunder, who himself is having a great season as a sire, won well over Flight, a 28-1 long shot, and another long shot, 33-1, simmering back in third. William Buick rode a safe race, going toward the front and never quite looking back for Charlie Appleby. The final margin of victory was a length. Syed bin Saror trained El Wateen in the Shadwell colours finished fourth, while champion and Breeders' Cup winner Lake Victoria was a disappointing sixth.
Desert Flower over on the far side with Elbertine and Duty first. Near side Red Letter, Chantilly Lace. Lake Victoria at this stage with plenty of work to do as they make their way now down inside the final 2.5 furlongs. Red Letter and Flight over on the stand side. Desert Flower, now Lake Victoria is beginning to find her stride, but has Flight stolen a march up the centre? Desert Flower still there. Lake Victoria knuckling down, trying to close. Then simmering. Desert Flower narrowly leads Flight as they run up towards the line. Desert Flower bidding to round off the weekend in style for Godolphin, and to the line it's Desert Flower's Guineas.
First and foremost, I'm just delighted for His Highness Sheikh Mohammed to have a weekend like this. It's very special for everybody. Obviously the team in America, all homebreds there, and this being a homebred, it's been an amazing weekend. It's really hard to probably take a few days for it to really sink in, but most importantly, like I say, huge team effort. I mean, Godolphin itself and just what they've achieved, in America, here, and obviously in Australia and Japan, everywhere else around the world. We have the operations, but what's been done this weekend has been remarkable.
Back on Friday, the first day of the Guineas Festival was the listed Newmarket Stakes. Charlie Appleby seems to have this race under his wing almost every year, this time with Alpine Trail. The son of Dubawi won nicely and looks to be one with a big future.
Alpine Trail just trying to pick up the tempo a bit. Ernst Blofeld, though, and Rab Havlin going with him, trying to keep up that pace too. Here comes Holly on Nebras, who goes past Aurel in the pink jacket, who begins to struggle a bit, and now they race past the two and head down the hill. And over on the far side, Nebras looks a big challenger to the favourite Alpine Trail, who's down the centre of the racecourse here. Up the other side of the dip now, and Alpine Trail now is finding another gear here in the closing stages. He needs to, but Alpine Trail is going to make it 3 out of 3 and goes on to win readily. Nebras in second.
Also on Friday at Newmarket, we had the Group 2 Jockey Club Stakes. Bellum Justin won like a good thing. The son of See the Stars beat out Silver Knot, and those Godolphin colours finishing second, with Davina Grace finishing third. Oisin Murphy was aboard for Andrew Balding. The final margin of victory was a length and a half, with 6.5 all the way back to Davina Grace. Would not be a surprise to see Silver Knot head back to the United States after this, considering he has done so well on fast and flat surfaces.
And it's Silver Knot who eases to the front here under Will Buick. Goes on from Davina Grace. Bellum Justum is back in third, trying to find an extra change of gear. And then Ambiente Friendly, who's well held today, sadly, as they move past the two down towards the final furlong. It's Silver Knot the favourite, but Bellum Justum is running a big race today. He's moved into second place. He's got 2 lengths to find as they hit the rising ground. Silver Knot and Bellum Justum, Will Buick and Oisin Murphy. Bellum Justum on the outside strikes the front, and what a day for Andrew Balding. It's a treble for him as Bellum Justum wins the Jockey Club Stake.
He's full of life, and he improved from his first start at Newbury a few weeks ago, and it was great to win a Group 2 with him on home soil.
Absolutely, and William sort of kicked clear. Did you think you were going to pick him up?
He was just grinding, and he's still not fully ready, so hopefully he'll step up. But delighted for King Powell to have another smart horse. They've had some really good ones over the last few years, and it's a privilege to win for them.
Back to Saturday at Newmarket, we had the Group 3 Palace House Stakes, the race right before the 2,000 guineas that we've already shown. Sponsored by the Hong Kong Jockey Club, this was won by Rumstar, a 7-1 shot, beating out She's Quality and Clarendon House. Rob Hornby was aboard for Jonathan Portman. The son of Vanna Gray looks to have a big future this season. Sheikh Rashid Dalmouk's Beautiful Diamond finished 8th.
Democracy Dilemma being hounded now by Clarendon House and She's Quality as they continue to burn along. Rumstar and Beautiful Diamond, the front 5 over on the far side, with Washington Heights racing in 6th place as they run down towards the dip from the back of the field. Twilight Calls is making ground on the extreme left-hand side as they make their way up the hill. She's Quality, Clarendon House and Rumstar. Democracy Dilemma, Washington Heights trying to stay up with Twilight Calls. It is Rumstar who's got to the front in the Palace House and leads by over a length from She's Quality, and then Clarendon House and Rumstar for Rob Hornby. A big win for Jonathan Portman.
He's just a cracking horse, Ollie. He's improved all the time, and he's getting better with age. He's getting faster with age, and it's funny with these horses, when you sit on them in a racing saddle in your britches, you can really get a feel for them. And I said to Ned coming out, he seems a different horse. He feels physically stronger animal, a big shoulder on him, and he's really turning into a very decent sprinter. And to start off his season with a performance like that, it makes you think he's going to be in the picture for bigger things, hopefully.
On Sunday at Newmarket, we had the listed Pretty Paula Stakes, where Falakea in those Shadwell blue and white silks won well and is a granddaughter of the great Lahu Dude. Jim Crowley was aboard for Owen Burrows.
Falakea just being held together by Jim Crowley. Leads now by only a couple of lengths. The pack are beginning to close. Sand Gazelle and Killing Queen, but they haven't got there yet as they meet the rising ground. Falakea now asked for more and finds some. From in second, Sand Gazelle and Killing Queen. Falakea hanging very tough on the run to the line and is going to make all in the Pretty Polly and sees it out in taking fashion. Life is Beautiful second, Killing Queen third, San Gazelle.
The second biggest race on Sunday outside of the 1,000 Guineas at Newmarket was the Group 2 Dahlia Stakes. Godolphin's Cinderella's Dream continued what has been a fantastic week for the Godolphin Blue. Returning to the winner's circle nicely, she beat out His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Al Malka into second, and her stablemate, Beautiful Love, ran third.
Race begins to develop with Secret Satire feeling some pressure from El Malka. Running line near side Cinderella's Dream is now moving through the field in taking fashion, and William Buick took a pull there. It doesn't want to get to the front just yet. The race transformed because Cinderella's Dream is still poised but hasn't gone to the ball yet. On the near side running line can offer no more, and Cinderella's Dream moves to the lead. El Malka in second place. Behind these in third, they're all wavering. Beautiful Love from Secret Satire. The further she went, the more she warmed up. She's really stretched out going past the line.
Yeah, she's a very classy filly, and you know, she's got me out of trouble a couple of times on tight tracks in America, so that takes a bit of doing. You know, she's a great filly, and you know, I still don't think we've seen quite the best of her yet. You know, she showed there that she's a class apart from those, and I thought it was a good Dahlia. I mean, you know, running line and El Malka, they're no slouches.
Now we're going to back up to Wednesday at Ascot that had a couple of intriguing races, including the Group 3 Sagaro Stakes. Sponsored by Longines, the affair was won by 11-1 shot Yashin. Coltrane finished a good second in this 2-mile prep for the Gold Cup, while Divine Comedy was third. Callum Shepherd was aboard for Michael Bell for this length victory.
Divine Comedy challenged and passed by Coltrane. Yashin up on the outside is running a stormer. Coltrane's got his nose in front, hanging slightly. Yashin, a determined effort down the outside. This would be a big surprise. Divine Comedy is back in third place, and Coltrane's been headed. Yashin now in front, and Yashin forges on. First start for Michael Bell. Callum Shepherd on board.
And a big favourite won the Commonwealth Cup Trial Stakes, registered as the Pavilion Stakes, a Group 3 affair, over 6 furlongs, where Big Mojo got back to the winner's enclosure. The son of Mohather beat out Diablo Rojo and Ain't Nobody. Favourite Rebels Gamble was unplaced.
They blaze on then past the 3-2 pole in sight. Candy out in front, but only by a half a length now from Dash Dizzy in second place. Araby with a chance. Far side, Rebels Gamble, who's shown bright turn of foot on the all-weather, needs it today as Big Mojo begins to get motoring over on the far side. Watch stand side for Ain't Nobody coming home really well, and Araby as well. Big Mojo, Araby is there, followed them by Ain't Nobody, and staying on strongly is Diablo Rojo late in the day. But Big Mojo's back. Big Mojo wins. In second place was Diablo Rojo. Ain't Nobody, a big run.
On Thursday over in France at Saint-Cloud, we had the Group 2 Prix de Muguet, which was won for the second year in a row by Godolphin's Tribalist. He led home a 1-2 finish for Godolphin and André Fabre, with Verbois finishing second. It was also a bit of revenge for Tribalist, as he was beaten earlier this season by No Lunch, a horse that went on to go unplaced in the Godolphin Mile.
But it's still Tribalist who has the lead. Now Ozat's coming out in pursuit. Also running on from further behind is Verbois, but Tribalist still with a 3-length advantage. Ozat's trying everything, but it's not enough, and it's Tribalist who's going to lead all the way and make it back-to-back victories in the Prix de Muguet. Tribalist the winner. Close call second in the end. Verbois in a photo with Zoo.
Now we leave Europe and head all the way over to the United States, where Churchill Downs had a lot of stakes races, including multiple Group 1 affairs. But the first we're going to look at is the third of those 4 big Group 1 wins for Godolphin this week. This is the historic 150th Kentucky Oaks. Good Cheer, a daughter of Darley Studd's Medaglia d'Oro, was the favorite going in and did not disappoint for Brad Cox. It was Godolphin's second win ever in the Kentucky Oaks and second win in 3 years after Pretty Mischievous won 2 years ago.
As they come to the top of the stretch, Lakara off the turn in front. Tenma trying to run with her. Good Cheer and Ballerina Doro comes roaring up on the outside. Good Cheer now. Good Cheer has taken the lead as they come into the final furlong and is opening up late. to a 3-length lead as they come down to the wire. It is going to be Good Cheer, the undefeated filly, to win the Kentucky Oaks.
Up next, we had the Group 2 Edgewood Stakes, where Nitrogen was the big favorite and did not disappoint. Mark Cassidy is a trainer, and this filly looks to be one who can contest with even the best of the Europeans if they come over and face her.
Nitrogen pops outside from third, Will then far outside fourth, Lush Lips in behind in fifth. There's 1 furlong to go. Here comes Nitrogen. Nitrogen explodes down the top of the turf and kicks away in a big way. Nitrogen by 4 and now by 5. Nitrogen crushed him. Tight for second there, Lush Lips or Vixen.
One of the most highly anticipated races of the week was the Grade 2 Ali Sheba Stakes, named after the famous Breeders' Cup Classic winner. Fierceness, champion at 2, and the second-best 3-year-old last year, finishing second in the Breeders' Cup Classic and winning the Travers, made his first start of the year. It was expected to be a big matchup between him and his stablemate Locked, but the San Anita Handicap winner could only finish 4th behind him. Katona, coming out of the Dubai World Cup, finished last of 6. Fierceness, of course, is trained by Hall of Famer Todd Pletcher.
They're off the turn. Most Wanted drifts out to confront Fierceness, but Fierceness has come on to take the lead. It's Fierceness in front. Most Wanted's gonna fight Fierceness to the final 16th. Fierceness digs in. Most Wanted continues to battle, but Fierceness is getting away late, and Fierceness is back in style. Fierceness wins it by nearly 2.
Another Grade 1 race on the day was the Fasig-Tipton La Troyenne Stakes. It was supposed to be a procession for champion and horse of the year Torpedo Anna. But instead it was Raging Sea who got her revenge after finishing second to that champion last year in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Randomized, her stablemate finished third. Torpedo Anna, after a rough trip, checked in last of 7.
It's been randomized all the way so far, and they're into the stretch with randomized in front. Torpedo Anna all out in second. She's got to do better. She's starting to drop out of contention here. Text is putting in a run. Raging Sea is 2. Torpedo Anna is plummeted to the back of the field. Here comes Text on the outside. Raging Sea fights on down toward the rail. It is randomized, but it's going to be Raging Sea in the La Troyenne.
Great team. You know, I can lay out the plan and I know how to work backwards from races from a great mentor, but if you don't have the team members to execute what you need to do, you can't do it. My team's unbelievable. We had a lot of confidence in this filly today, as well as randomized to run a good one off a layoff because of their hard work and preparation.
The Grade 3 Modesty Stakes, over 9 furlongs on the grass, for fillies and mares, was a procession indeed, as She Feels Pretty wiped the floor with the competition. Trained by Cherie DeVoe, she is going to have a big season indeed. Perhaps the Grade 1 New York will be next in 5 weeks, where she could possibly take on Cinderella's Dream.
She goes right on by. She Feels Pretty to the front. On top from Saffron Moon, who tries to put in a run on the outside. 1 furlong out. She Feels Pretty by 2. Saffron Moon full out in second. Giving another has rallied from last on the outside. She Feels Pretty is looking good. She Feels Pretty in the Modesty, no problem. Giving another was second. Saffron Moon was third.
Up next, we had the Grade 2 8 Bell Stakes, named after the famous and ill-fated Kentucky Derby runner-up filly. Look Forward, trained and ridden by the connections of Kentucky Derby favorite journalism, won decisively here for Mike McCarthy. Umberto Rispoli was in the saddle. Godolphin's Verity finished 5th for Owen Hardy.
The 3 of them turning for home together, and they're into the stretch, and it's Look Forward. Look Forward to the final 3/16, opening up a 2-length lead here. To the outside comes Blue Fire, trying to close in from second. 1 furlong to run. Look Forward looking for the wire. Blue Fire ranging up alongside. Evanescence has made up good ground from dead last down the center of the track, but has run out of time. Look Forward in the 8 bounds. Blue Fire was second. Evanescence was third.
And that brings us to Saturday's action and the biggest race of the weekend anywhere in the world, the $5 million Kentucky Derby. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum's Godolphin operation has been trying to win this race since the late 90s and finally got it done. Sovereignty, trained by Bill Mott, swept all the way from the back of the pack on the outside, bested journalism in the final strides and held off Baeza, who ran a good third. Junior Alvarado was aboard, giving Bill Mott his second win in the Kentucky Derby, but first with a horse who finished first across the line. A decision on whether or not he goes on to the Preakness in 2 weeks is yet to be made.
Neo Equos is the leader at the top of the stretch. Journalism is on the move as they turn for home, and Sovereignty is coming with him on the outside. The two of them go right by with a furlong to run. Journalism and Sovereignty, nose to nose, down to the last 16th of a mile. Sovereignty has taken the lead. Journalism is second toward the inside. Baeza is third, but it will be Sovereignty to rule the Kentucky Derby. Journalism and Baeza were next. Final Gambit was fourth. The final time was 2:02.31 seconds.
On the undercard that day was the Grade 1 Churchill Downs Stakes. Perhaps the best field of the day included the likes of Banishing, Nisos, Bookham Dano, and Mindframe, but none could match Mindframe in the end, as he swept all the way around them while cutting back in distance and won well for Irad Ortiz Jr. and Todd Pletcher.
And they're into the stretch, and it's Hoist the Gold, joined on the outside by Mulligan. Mulligan has now taken over the lead as they come into the final furlong. Nisos and Mindframe are both coming. Tejado Twist is on the far outside. Bookham Dano is rushing to an opening down toward the inside. Bookham Dano inside of Mulligan. Farther out comes Nisos, and even farther out Mindframe. What a finish! Who's it going to be? I think it was Mindframe, and Banishing came late on the scene, and a dramatic finish here.
Godolphin was not done getting big stakes action wins by taking the Grade 2 Twin Spires Turf Sprint with Think Big. The slight favorite in the market, he is trained by Mike Stidham, making it a owner-trainer combination that also won the 2021 Dubai World Cup with Mystic Guide. Think Big could possibly go on to the Grade 1 Jaipur Stakes in 5 weeks at Saratoga.
They're at the top of the stretch. Coppola has been taken on by Boss Sully. Boss Sully on the outside to the front. Think Big is trying to put in a bid down the middle of the racetrack. Then comes Run Carson, ambivalent down toward the inside, and Unconquerable Keen. But it's Boss Sully. Boss Sully by 2. Here comes Think Big on the outside with a late rally. Think Big, huge on Derby Day, running down Boss Sully to win it. And Uncomfortable Keen was third.
Grade 1 action continued with the American Turf, or as I like to call it, the American 2000 Guineas. Zulu Kingdom went in as the lukewarm favorite, but won like a heavy favorite, winning this newly minted Grade 1. Another Grade 1 winner, New Century, ran well in his first race for American Connections, now trained by Brendan Walsh. Ironman Cal, second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, could only manage 6th.
They're into the stretch with Mibago to catch. Mibago to the 8th pole in front. Zulu Kingdom bearing down on the outside. These two into the final furlong. Mibago and Zulu Kingdom. Test score is taken third toward the inside. Then Gio Poso and New Century closing from the back of the pack. But it's Zulu Kingdom. Zulu Kingdom and Flavia Pratt are gonna do it. It was dead tight for second. Test score and New Century on the wire together. Mibago was fourth.
Grade 1 action continued on the sloppy surface as Copion won the Grade 1 Derby City Distaff. Against a very tough field, this homebred daughter of Omaha Beach won well for Dick Mandela and company. It was the highest speed figure of the week and highly impressive while beating the best sprint fillies in the nation.
As they turn for home, Hope Road off the turn in front has taken command. Copian closing down the center of the track, down to the 8th pole. Hope Road and Copian, Ways and Means is third behind them. Scylla fourth. Copian on the outside. Hope Road digs in, but Copian takes charge. Oh, Copian is looking good, pulling away to win the Derby City Distaff over Hope Road, Ways and Means.
The top turf race of the day was the Grade 1 Old Forester Turf Classic. Chad Brown, of course, always goes in with a heavy hand in these races, with 3 indeed, including slight favorite Spirit of St. Louis, who would not be denied, and a near blanket finish in the end. It was the son of Medaglia d'Oro's first win since the Pegasus World Cup Turf in January.
Integration is fifth between them. Cameo Performance has to roll and begins to move on the outside. Spirit of St. Louis follows that move as they come to the top of the stretch. Mercanti is the leader. Cameo Performance on the far outside, putting in a late run. Spirit of St. Louis is down the center of the track. Highway Robber is dashing through an opening on the inside. This one's wide open. There's about 6 across the track here. It can go any way as they come to the final 16th of a mile. Let's see who it's going to be. Spirit of St. Louis takes the lead, and Spirit of St. Louis will win it. Mercante was second. Highway Robber was third. Gold Phoenix was fourth.
That concludes the Churchill Downs action. Now let's head over to New York for Belmont at the Big A. On Saturday, we had the Grade 2 Fort Marcy Stakes, where Christophe Clement started 2 big horses in Deterministic and Carson's Run, and will go on to finish first and second. Deterministic, with the benefit of a run already this season, won well here after his second at Keeneland last out. Carson's Run ran on like a freight train and will be one to watch going forward.
Deterministic is very strong at the top of the lane. K-Army is trying to run this rival down. Carson's Run is lifting but has a lot of ground to make up on front-running Deterministic, who approaches the final furlong. Deterministic is still running away with it. Deterministic inside the final 16th. This is a dominating effort here. Deterministic front-running wins the Fort Marcy by plenty. Carson's Run second, K-Army, then Masterpiece finished fourth.
On Sunday, we had a trio of Grade 3 affairs at Aqueduct. The Grade 3 vacancy was won by Hall and Ice. Safi Joseph and C2 Racing of Kentucky Derby winner Neo Equus, as well as multiple Grade 1 winner White Abario, got the win here.
To the inside, it's Our Disaster, and Our Disaster is now battling on with Hall and Ice. They're still 1-2. Almost Gone Rocket from the back end of the field starts to roll, and here comes Almost Gone Rocket after the leaders. Our Disaster is now a half length in front. Hall and Ice not going anywhere, comes right back. Leslie's Rose, St. Benedict's Prep. It's going to be a blanket finish. Give it to Hall and Ice to win it. Hall and Ice wins the Vagrancy, then came Our Disaster.
If it's a graded turf race for the fillies in New York, you know that Chad Brown has it down. And dynamic pricing definitely came through for him in the Grade 3 Beaugay. She is a daughter of Knight of Thunder, giving that sire another graded stakes win on the weekend.
Rakia's getting out as they reach the top of the lane. It's been an awkward journey, and everything is wide open now. They spread well apart, as bearing out badly was Rakia, who looks to be now just backing out of it. Dynamic pricing goes around that rival. Here's Heredia, who is at the back under that snug hold, and Heredia is taking the lead. Edict battles on, is coming right back towards the inside. Edict, Heredia, dynamic pricing rolling down the center of the course. Edict is trying to hold on. Dynamic pricing up in time and wins the Beaugay. Edict second, then Heredia, and Grayosh finished fourth. And 1 minute 42.
And the last of the American action caps up with the Grade 3 Westchester, a big prep for the Metropolitan Mile. Bishop's Bay won well here for Flavian Pratt and Brad Cox.
They reach the top of the stretch, and Bishop's Bay and Quince Brew, these two sprint on, and Bishop's Bay is a nose in front. Quince Brew with every chance, and they've been shoulder to shoulder almost the entire way. Yo Daddy's picking up rivals from the back, but the front two, and a little match race here in the Westchester. To the inside, it's Bishop's Bay. To the outside, there is Quince Brew. Bishop's Bay finding a touch more. Quince Brew back to second. Bishop's Bay wins it.
And the last race of the week we are going to cover, we go on Sunday over to Japan at Kyoto for one of its biggest races of the season, the Group 1 Tenno Show Spring. Redentor was very determined here under Damian Lane, giving him his second Group 1 in as many weeks after winning with Tastiera last week in the QE2 in Hong Kong. Running on gamely was Byzantine Dream, the Red Sea Turf winner from Saudi Cup Day, while Justin Palace, who was fourth in the Dubai Shima Classic a couple years ago, finished sixth.
They swing for home with a roar of the crowd in the Tenno Show. Down the middle, it's Sunrise Earth. Here comes Shonan Lapunta. Under pressure is running on now, Hidden Tour. Just in behind them is Justin Palace and can't come on. And now Byzantine Dream climbs in. It's Hidden Tour in front. Byzantine Dream is finishing strongly with Andras Starker. Damian Lane, Andras Starker. Damian Lane the inside, Hidden Tour, they hit the line. Damian Lane, Hidden Tour takes it out. Byzantine Dream in for second. Shonan Lapunta for third.
Now let's look at what's coming up this week around the world. Over in the UK, we have the Lingfield Trial Stakes are going to give us a better idea of possible Derby challengers. Over in France on Sunday, we have the French 2,000 guineas and the French 1,000 guineas. And looking a little more forward, next week we have the Downty Festival starting off on the 14th for 3 days at famous York Racecourse. We thank you for tuning in and hope to see you here next week as we go over some of the best racing from around the world. My name is Michael Adolphson. May you have a great week, and may all your photo finishes be winning ones.